Let us now welcome to the stage Billy McClennan, Strategic Partnerships for Gorgias. Billy McClennan manages strategic partnerships for Gorgias on the West Coast and Asia Pacific regions. Ladies and gentlemen, Billy.
Thank you for the introduction, Chris. If you're not already familiar with what Gorgias is, we are an e-commerce focused help desk for Magento and Shopify stores. And so we've already heard a lot of great things this morning about the customer experience and how it can impact your business. And so that's really what I'm going to focus on today, is just tell you a little bit about some of how the brands that we work with are basically making their customer experience better through their help desk and also monetizing those support interactions. So just for some context, 50% of e-commerce in the United States is run through Amazon. So it's a huge number, as most of you probably aren't surprised. And the way that they've done that, as Mark said in his talk this morning, is a good customer experience. They can get you that product within 2 days or in the same day at some points, and there's a low entry to barrier. But as Mark also said, we know that they're not always the most merchant-friendly platform. So in this example, this is basically a merchant paying for an ad, and as you click on that ad, you're seeing that Amazon is actually overlaying their product at about half the price. So they're essentially stealing paid traffic from their brands. And so what we think at Gorgias is the way to combat that and stay, have loyal customers coming to your website and not going to Amazon to purchase is, of course, having a good brand, which really breaks down to an inspirational story and a good customer experience all the way through the buying journey. And so customer experience can be, having a quality product, being able to deliver it to the person when you say that you do, and kind of where we come in is having a good customer experience or good customer service. And so this is extremely important because most people, up to 80% of people, basically are saying that they would take their, they would go to a competitor or through Amazon if they had a poor experience with customer service. And so, as most of us know, it's not a hot topic, for a brand, for a merchant to talk about customer service. It's usually considered a fixed cost for most people at the end of the year on their P&L statement. And really, our mission at Gorgias is to show people that it doesn't have to be that way. So, customer service is a great opportunity to interact with your customers and consumers. And we have a lot of brands that are actually doing this and actually using customer support to actually drive revenue and help grow their business, not just answer repetitive questions. And so, again, that's really our mission, is to monetize those interactions with your customers. And so really there's a three-step approach that we take in a lot of the brands that we work with. And the first one is just optimizing repetitiveness. So essentially, getting rid of or streamlining the common questions like, where's my order? Can I get a refund or a shipping status update, something like that. And after optimizing, opening up more channels. So not just the email channel through support. So, it could be live chat, it could be your Facebook ads, your Instagram ads, it could be SMS is a really hot one. I'll talk about that a little bit today as well. And then finally, with all of these different channels and these ways to interact with customers, you can actually monetize those interactions. And so before I joined Gorgias, I actually I worked for a startup, and one of the things that I did was I launched our customer support team, which was me at the time because we were very small. And my day-to-day, this is kind of how I felt, I was answering a lot of these repetitive questions, doing the same thing over and over. It wasn't efficient, and at the end of the day, you're not even in a happy mood at the end of it because it's just the same thing over and over again. But it doesn't actually have to be that way because, based on our internal data at Gorgias, 25% of tickets that you're getting through support can actually be responded to within one interaction. So you don't need 3, 4, 5 responses back and forth for some of these common questions. And of these 25%, we're seeing that 35% of them are actually from order status, returns and exchanges, canceling orders, and then miscellaneous things that might be more specific to the actual brand. And so one of the ways that brands that we work with are kind of streamlining and optimizing that part is just having access to that data in one place. So this example is essentially somebody emailing in, they haven't gotten their package yet, they're looking for a tracking update, and from the platform, you can actually pull those data points from Shopify or Magento into the ticket and close the ticket with one click. So you don't need to open up Shopify, open up Magento, going to your 3PL and find that information. You have that with your customer profile. And then it takes 2 seconds, one click. And then also what we're doing is we have a big machine learning component of the platform as well. So this would be taking that even one step further, completely automating, but also keeping it personal with intents. So what you're looking at right here is essentially just, we have the ability to understand the intent of a customer inquiry. So in this case, if it was shipping status, we run through the ticket. If we identify that it's a shipping update, then we can apply that macro on the previous slide and close the ticket. So now right away, you've hopefully automated 15 to 20% of your tickets, leaving more time for support agents to interact with customers on other channels, for positive interactions, to help them through that buying journey. And so after you've been able to make your support more efficient and you have more time, it's extremely important today to be on all of the different channels that your customers are. So it's not just email. Like I said, it's SMS and Facebook Messenger, your ad comments, your social media, really everywhere that your customers are, being able to kind of manage those things efficiently in one place so that you can communicate with them that way. And so even today with our internal data, we are still seeing that most of customer support interactions are coming through the email channel. So 74% through email. You do see 10 to 12% in live chat and then a little bit on Facebook Messenger. But this is changing, and it should be changing because, like I said, we're interacting with customers more than just through email and live chat. And so here's a good example of how of customers reaching out to your brand, not through email. So this is a Facebook ad that I pulled from one of our clients actually. And what you can see on every second comment is that there's positive intent there. There's intent to buy, people saying that they need this, tagging their friends. But you might notice that the brand in this particular example isn't responding back to their customers here. So essentially, they're leaving money on the table. There's a lot of opportunity to increase the ROAS on your Facebook ads in this particular example, and I'll come back to this in a few more slides as well. And then here's another kind of popular channel that people are communicating on the AI side. So with Facebook Messenger bots. So basically, we have some brands that are doing huge campaigns with Facebook Messenger platforms. But on the support side, sometimes it can be hard to manage and bring it in because you have a lot of these canned, you have the about or contact button and people are clicking them just for generic information. And it's all getting pulled into the same place. And so you don't really have a way to filter out what's relevant and what's not relevant. And so what we're doing is basically only bringing in the relevant, the real interactions where people actually have positive intent or questions related to your product or your service. And then SMS, this is probably the most commonly brought up marketing channel that I've heard of in 2019. Extremely hot topic and also extremely powerful. And consumers will get very, very personal on SMS. So you'll get consumers on a Tuesday saying, oh, hey, I don't actually get paid until Friday. Like, can this discount code be valid in 3 days from now? Or they'll tell you, they want to get this for their mom's birthday or something like that. And then I actually sat in on a lunch and learn with an SMS platform called Attentive just this last week. And essentially, they're working with some brands, and some of the brands, SMS is one of the top 3 revenue channels for these brands. So it's extremely efficient. They're getting huge ROIs. And so it's definitely a channel that you're seeing more people on. And again, being able to manage thousands and thousands of text messages is super important. So finally, now that we've been able to kind of streamline and make support more efficient, save some time for the support agents, and bring in all of these different channels, we now have the time and opportunity to think of support agents more as sales associates, just like in retail, and actually monetize some of these interactions. So this is going back to the Facebook ad situation. So this is a different thread with positive intent, people, showing intent that they want to purchase. And what we're seeing with brands that are engaging with these in an efficient way, being able to kind of get to these ad discount codes, ad shipping, anything like that, is they're usually seeing an increase in sales on their Facebook ads, which is equivalent to about 5% of the ad spend. And so at Gorgias, one of the ways that we help brands that have 15 creatives and thousands of comments a day is automatically bringing them into buckets. So positive intent, to purchase, negative comments, so that they can either, hide those in one space or, address those through the comment, and also product questions. And finally, here's a really good example of how to kind of mimic that buying experience in retail on your website with the use of live chat, and in this situation, what we call chat campaigns. So essentially, depending on where the consumer is or the customer is on your website, you want to help them through that journey and make it easier for them to get to the checkout page, just like in the retail store. So if they were on your landing page, just looking at general information, reading, clearly engaged, you can pop up a chat just basically saying, hey, we're here to help you, let us know if you have questions. And then, as they go through your website to different collection and product pages, and they're reading, on specific products, you can have, things that are pushing them through the funnel. So something like a discount code, or if it's a technical product, you could have a relevant piece of product information to help them make that decision. And finally, as they get to the cart, you can add some sort of sense of urgency. So if you purchase now or within the next 10 minutes, there's free shipping, or additional loyalty points if you're doing things like that. And so with some of the brands that we're working with, we're actually seeing anywhere from a 30 to 40% increase in conversion rates on their website from the traffic they're driving through using these chat campaigns. And finally, like I had mentioned, our mission is to be able to show you that you can use these channels through customer support to create revenue. And so we have an analytics dashboard here, essentially, one for tracking, but also to incentivize support agents to drive sales when they're communicating with people. So in this example right here, at the end of the day, if you could say, okay, we got 273 pre-sale tickets on our live chat, we converted 31 of them for a 12% conversion rate, which generated $2,400, and then break it down by the agent, you can start to see that there are opportunities to create revenue through support if you can manage it and have the time to do it efficiently. And so just to summarize quickly, what we talked a little bit about and kind of how we're working with some of our brands is, one, we're really trying to optimize, so make your team more efficient by, in some cases, fully automating some of the repetitive tasks, like where's my order or refund information, things like that. And then because now that you've become more efficient, you can bring in more channels, so things like SMS and your ad comments, Instagram, social, live chat, anything like that. And finally, with these channels and being more efficient, you actually have the ability to monetize some of these interactions. And so what we're typically seeing with a lot of the brands that we work with is a lot of the times about a 30% efficiency gain. So they either have a smaller support team or they're able to handle more volume with the same support team. Improvement in the ROAS on their paid advertising. So just being able to manage those social comments in an effective way and get to the positive ones and address the negative ones. And then also significant increases using live chat, but also using live chat campaigns. So instead of needing someone to kind of man the live chat full time. And my contact information, so if anybody has any questions, happy to take them now, and if not right now, feel free to send me a text or an email. Do we have any questions? Hey.
Do you guys plan on integrating with messages?
It's a common question. So the answer is yes. So we've built out so we can pull in, just for context, we can pull in organic posts on Instagram and then ads on Instagram, Facebook, and organic posts on Facebook. We've already built out the ability to take in DMs, but the direct messages, but Instagram hasn't opened up that API yet. Originally they had said this spring, now they're saying next spring, so hopefully in 2020 they open up their API so that we can bring in the direct messages as well. All right, well, thank you everybody. And again, any questions afterward, feel free to come by our booth or send me an email. Oh,
Question back here.
sorry about that.
Over here.
I was just going to ask about Twitter. As someone who uses Gorgias, I see that in the stats, it's like an option as a checkbox, but I don't know that it's a native integration.
It's not a native integration. We can do a few things to kind of like pull it in. So if you're interested in figuring out how to pull that into your Gorgias platform, we can talk about that after.
Sweet.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much, Billy McClennan.